There is a version of you that everyone approves of. He agrees when he should push back. He stays quiet when he should speak. He shrinks himself in rooms where he should take up space. He says yes when everything inside him is screaming no. And everyone likes him. They like him because he is safe, because he never challenges anyone, because he has made himself small enough to fit inside whatever box the people around him need him to fit in, and he is miserable. Because being liked is not the same as being respected, and it is not the same as being known, and it is absolutely not the same as being a man. The hunger for approval is one of the most quietly destructive forces in a man's life, and most men never name it. They just live inside it, confused about why their life feels like it belongs to everyone except them. This video is about that force and how to break it. Here is what approval seeking actually is at its root. It is fear, dressed up as politeness, disguised as humility, performing as easygoing. But underneath every man who cannot say no, who cannot hold a position, who cannot disappoint someone without feeling like he is coming apart, there is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being seen as difficult or selfish or not enough. Fear that if he stops performing for the people around him, they will leave, or stop caring, or finally confirm the thing he has always suspected about himself. Psychologists call this external locus of control, the condition of a man whose sense of worth is located outside himself, in the opinions of others, in the reactions of the room, in whether or not he is approved of by the people around him. The problem is not that he cares about people. That is good. The problem is that he has handed those people the controls to his own identity. Every approval he receives is borrowed confidence. It evaporates the moment the next situation demands something from him. Every disapproval lands like a verdict on his worth as a man. That is not a way to live. That is a way to be managed. And the men who manage you, who have learned, consciously or not, that disapproval controls your behavior, they do not respect you. They use you. Even the ones who love you. The man who cannot be disappointed cannot be trusted, because no one knows where he actually stands. Real relationships, real respect, real influence are only possible when a man is willing to be disliked. When the people around him know that he has a position and he will hold it, even when it costs him something. That is the man people follow, not the man who agrees with everyone. Strategy 1. Locate where you are performing. You cannot fix what you will not name, and most men, if they are honest, know exactly where they are performing. It is the relationship where you never bring up what is actually bothering you. The workplace where you take on work you resent because you cannot stand the thought of someone being disappointed in you. The friendship where you laugh at things you don't find funny and agree with things you don't believe. The family dynamic where your role has always been to keep the peace, regardless of the cost to you. Sit with this. Where in your life are you smaller than you actually are? Where are you curating a version of yourself for other people's comfort? Where have you been so focused on being liked that you have stopped being honest? Name it without judgment. Not every act of accommodation is people-pleasing. Choosing your battles is wisdom. But if you cannot remember the last time you held a position that cost you something, That is information. The performing man is not free. He is on stage, and every performance has a price. Strategy 2. Tolerate disapproval. Like a skill. Here is the truth most men are not told. Tolerating disapproval is a skill. It is learnable. And like every skill, it is built through repetition, not revelation. You do not wake up one day no longer caring what people think. You practice small acts of holding your ground until the discomfort becomes manageable, until you realize that the disapproval you feared did not destroy you, that the relationship survived, or that if it didn't, it was not the kind of relationship that deserved your performance anyway. Start small. Disagree with something in a low-stakes conversation. Say no to a request you would normally accommodate out of guilt. Express an opinion you would normally keep to yourself, and then sit with the discomfort. Do not apologize for it. Do not rush to smooth it over. Let the silence be there. Let the other person feel whatever they feel. And notice, you are still standing. Every time you do this, the ceiling on your self-respect rises. Every time you cave to avoid disapproval, it drops. The muscle builds through use. Start using it. Strategy 3. Know what you actually stand for. The man who needs everyone to like him is almost always a man who does not know what he stands for. Because when you have a clear set of convictions about what is true, what is right, what is worth building, what you will and will not tolerate, the approval of people who disagree with those convictions stops feeling like something you need. You cannot be manipulated by disapproval if your identity is not located in the approval. This is why the most grounded men you will ever meet are not the most agreeable. They are the most convicted. They have done the inner work of deciding who they are and what they believe. And that settled identity makes them immune to the kind of social pressure that controls most men. Ask yourself, what do I actually believe? Not what am I supposed to believe? Not what do the people around me believe? What do I believe about how a man should live, what he should build, how he should treat people, what he will not compromise on? Write it down. Not to perform it, to know it. Because a man who knows where he stands does not need external validation to feel stable. He already knows who he is. Strategy 4. Seek the approval that actually matters. This is the level that changes everything. The approval-seeking man is not wrong to hunger for validation. He is wrong about where to look for it. That hunger, the need to be seen, to be known, to be told you are enough, that is not weakness. It is the deepest need of the human soul. Augustine wrote, "Our heart is restless until it repose in thee." The restlessness of a man chasing approval is the restlessness of a soul that has not yet found what it was made for. You were not made to perform for people. You were made to be known by God. The man who understands this, who has grounded his identity in something that cannot be revoked by a room, a relationship, or a rejection, is free in a way that the approval-seeking man will never be, because his worth is not contingent on anyone's opinion of him. It was established before he was born and does not change based on how the people around him respond. This is not passive. It is not an excuse to stop caring about others. It is the foundation that makes genuine love possible. Because when you are no longer performing for people, you can finally be present for them. Stop seeking the approval of men whose approval was never the point. Seek instead to hear, on the last day, from the only voice that matters. Well done, good and faithful servant. That is the only verdict worth building your life around. The danger of being liked is not that people will take advantage of you, though they will. It is not that you will lose respect, though you will lose that too. The real danger is this: you will spend your entire life performing a version of yourself that was built for other people, and wake up one day not knowing who you actually are. That is the cost. An entire life, lived for an audience that was never meant to define you. Locate where you are performing. Practice tolerating disapproval. Know what you stand for, and anchor your identity in something that cannot be taken from you by a person, a room, or a rejection.